have to start off by giving our honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Hamashai, Bahashim, Kakudash. We also want to give double honors to our elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone Well, as well as peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. And we out of Mississippi camp, and to my left I have, behind me I have, and today we're going to go into a live stream entitled Gluttony is a Babylonian Thing, man. Gluttony is a Babylonian thing. All right, because in our culture, in our beautiful culture, man, it's like a remedy for life. All right, and everything that we did in our culture, all right, you see the opposite done in America. So one thing that was practiced in our culture was moderation, man. All right, if you look at this, Captain Shaquat.
This is Ecclesiastes 37 and 29. Start 28. It says, "For all things are not profitable for all men, neither have every soul pleasure in everything.
Yeah.
Be not unsatiable in anything, nor too greedy upon meats.
Yep.
For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and servitude will turn into color."
Because just to give context, and we're not anti-meat, we're not brothers that's talking about, just everybody should be vegan. But to give context of our heritage, meat was more of a feast thing, man. And it was indicative of wealth. So if you could afford to eat meat every day, you could, but this could just speak about excess of meat. Now, meat was something that was associated with the noble class of Israel. For example, in King Solomon's reign, all right, his house that was with him, they ate meat every day. All right, but you have to understand context, man. All right, the average man doesn't eat meat every day in our homeland. Now, fish was more of a common custom, but meat, it stays in the body longer, and it's not something that the body would ingest every day for the average man. All right. Go ahead.
And this is Daniel 1:5. And the king appointed them and the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat.
Yep.
And of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they might stand before the king.
Right. So showing you that meat was associated with wealth. Okay, there's nothing wrong with eating meat. But in the context of our homeland, Jerusalem, especially meat like beef, that was more like a cookout or a festive day. Yeah, like it's a festival day, man. A high holy day, a feast day. Okay? Or like I said, you got other brothers coming from a different city. Y'all throw some on the grill, And then another thing, in Babylon, you're really supposed to eat meat with vegetables. See, in Babylon, you just eat meat, right? You eat chicken, biscuits, mashed potatoes, gravy, then macaroni and cheese. All right? But where's your purgative? Where's your cleansers? Where's your leafy greens that help push the meat out? So
fiber content.
Yeah, the water, brother, because those leafy greens have a high fiber content. Where's your fruit that you eat in the daytime? All right, such as watermelon or muscadine fruit, dates. That's high in fiber, and the fruit that I named prior was high in fiber and water, because water gives that internal flushing and digestive system, but the fiber pushes out everything. So you niggas don't eat fruit, you motherfuckers don't eat vegetables, but you eat that meat, that bread, that dairy, and it just gets stuck in your digestive system, man. You don't exercise, you don't walk. All right, go ahead.
It says, "For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and servitude will turn to color."
Surfeiting, which is overeating. All right, it'll turn. And if you could look up that word color, and it's easy for us brothers to get that shit, man. That blood pressure creep up on you, that cholesterol will creep up on you. You just gotta, be careful, man. And don't make a habit out of eating carelessly, man. You can't curse out Babylon, but be addicted to her culture, man. I think about that shit like that. You can condemn Babylon, but you're addicted to the instant gratification kingdom. Even when it, hey, even in our homeland, we weren't dating. In Babylon, you might have a woman that come and go. That's just the nature of Babylon. But in our homeland, we had arranged weddings. We had big weddings too, man. All right. Did you find it, Captain Shaquat?
It's from the Free Dictionary. From Kohler, says anger, irritability. It also goes into like bile, cholera. That's where you get jaundice from.
Yeah, yep.
Which is like that yellowish discoloration of the whites of your eyes and your skin.
Yeah, liver problems and shit.
Yeah.
Then you can have your gallbladder. I think Kohler did that gall too. If you can look up that etymology about the shop, their Free Dictionary might have that etymology in there.
Yeah, so it says for cholera from the Edinburgh Online, bile. It said cholera, a type of disease characterized by diarrhea, supposedly caused by bile. And it says gall, bile.
Hey, yeah, gall. Because your gallbladder assists in the digestive process. Which your gallbladder could be filled with gallbladder stones, man. All right? And unfortunately, you might have to have your gallbladder removed. Some people have to have their kidneys removed. You know? Like I said, their liver is responsible for 300 functions in the body. So once that's messed up, that has a negative ripple effect on your body, man. And it's so easy to eat this shit. So I'm not like getting on brothers like we don't struggle with certain things back here, man. All right, it's easy to slip into that Babylonian way. Look, we just passed a Cracker Barrel sign. Fried chicken, macaroni, and some probably over salted ass beans, man. Fried chicken, macaroni, man. We just passed that shit. Now ask me how is that gonna get pushed to your digestive system, man? All right.
So for functions of the liver from the AI overview, it says the liver plays a crucial role in many bodily functions, including detoxification, metabolism, and nutrient storage. It filters blood, producing bile for digestion, and breaks down toxins, medications, and old red blood cells. The liver also synthesizes proteins for blood plasma and helps regulate blood clotting.
Yep. So once their liver's messed up, you messed up, man. You know, their liver is MF, man. All right.
So your body become vulnerable to all these diseases that's out here with elements, you know.
Yep.
When take poor diet, they so susceptible to these diseases. Like you're saying, like when Jay eat all these different type of foods, like like going into the fried chicken, the mashed potatoes, and the macaroni and cheese, and no type of fiber content.
Yep.
Then all that food it just stores up in their stomach over the process of time. That's why you see a lot of these Jakes with big guts.
Yep.
That's actually food storage, like from years ago.
Yeah.
Your stomach just rotting there.
Just rotting. Toxins.
Yep.
Because it reminds me of a vacuum cleaner, right? Them old school vacuum cleaners, you have to change the bag out. Now, if the bag was full, you're running the vacuum cleaner over the carpet, but it was sucking none up.
Right.
So why would it suck none up? Because it has so much toxins in the bag, you have to change the dirt out, change the bag out. When you put a new bag in, now the vacuum cleaner can suck up the dirt out the carpet. Same thing with our digestive system. If it's filled with toxins and waste, right, then you're not going to properly digest anything because your vacuum cleaner bag, quote unquote, is filled. So you gotta have purgatives to push out the toxins, man.
See what you said they call for cholera on the free Edinburgh Online. It says, but another sense of cholate, which is spelled Khole, was drain pipe and gutter.
Wow. Drain pipe and gutter. And days where it's raining, right? And it's excess rain, the gutter can't drain through the streets. So the water be backed up outside the gutter and the streets will be flooded with water. Clogged up.
Yep, clogged up. You have all types of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Parasites is the mosquitoes.
They feasting on that rotten food, man. Out the way it is outside your body, that's how it works inside your body. You got an animal that fucking dies, right? And that nigga just decomposing, the animal's decomposing. It's gonna attract all type of microorganisms, all type of baggage and stuff. So just imagine you got meat that you didn't push out of your body, or just other poisons. It don't have to be meat that you did not push out of your body, and it's gonna attract all type of microorganisms. Then we found out you got something called a microbiome. Micro means little. Biome goes back to like life. So you have an ecosystem of good and bad bacteria that assist in the digestive process. The food we eat disrupts the microbiome. That's why you're supposed to drink probiotics. The pour that good bacteria in you. So if you destroy your ecosystem in your body, all right, how do you digest food? If you ever had a fish tank without a filter, right, you're depending on the bacteria to break down the ammonia. If there's no bacteria, all the fish die. Just the same bacteria. It's like nitrobacter bacteria. I can't pronounce it anymore. But it's the same thing in the fish tank, man. All right, was there anything else, bro?
Yeah, this Isaiah 47, starting verse 5. Sit thou silent and get thee in darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called a lady of kings. I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance, and have given them into thy hand, and thou didst show them no mercy upon the ancient, as I very heavily laid thy yoke.
Yup.
And thou sayest, I should be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. That's the point. Therefore, hear now this, that thou art given to pleasure.
This is a kingdom in which the citizens are given to pleasure. If you're given to it, you're a slave to it. And we found out that this fast food shit, it goes back to Pompeii. It goes back to Rome, where they had all type of fast food stands. I think a brother was breaking down how Babylon lived deliciously in the scriptures. And it went back to like fried foods. So to go out and buy fried food, that's a delicacy, man. But that's a Roman custom. I keep going from Babylon and Rome because it's really the same thing in nature. Was there more to that, brother?
And it says, let's back in Isaiah 47 and 8. Therefore, hear now this, that thou art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that says in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children.
Right, but the key point is, this is a kingdom where everybody's addicted to some type of pleasure. You're addicted to social media, you're addicted to sex, you're addicted to things on the internet, you're addicted to candy, you're addicted to fast food, you're addicted to fried chicken, you're addicted to everything, man. You're addicted to attention, you're addicted to consume. You have people who are addicted to buying things. You ever seen Black Friday? And they'll show a grown-ass woman snatch a toy out of a child's hand. A consumer is an addict.
Right.
You're on Amazon, especially women, they're on Amazon just shopping. That's an addict, man. They just don't call it an addict. You married as hell on social media and you still looking at who's gonna give you attention. You're an addict, man. You know?
So notice it's stated like that dwelleth carelessly. You know, careless goes into like incautious or inattentive, which links up with Jeremiah 49:31, goes into about that wealthy nation.
Yeah.
Referring to America that dwells without care. This creates a careless society by this unwise king, Esau Edom. So that type of mentality, it spirals on down to the mindset of the coming people within America. You see how they careless with their diets. We just passed by Cracker Barrel. That thing is already packed. The whole parking lot.
Yeah.
So it just shows you like this is a careless society, which leads to Ecclesiastes, how it goes into a child left to himself, or left to himself becomes willful.
Yeah.
You know, they're all just open to their vices within this world.
Yep.
They become addicts off of it.
And that's an excellent point, bro. The average American is like a child left to himself.
Yeah, no discipline.
Just and willful.
Yeah, and willful.
And now, look, bro, I'm watching all type of people that I grew up around die. Especially people that, like the older people that I went to church with back in the day, certain relatives, they're all dying from their diet. If it ain't a YN dying from the bullet, everybody else dying from the diet, man. And it's all diet-related diseases. That's why if you're watching this, you got to figure out a system in which you can adhere to that keep you some type of healthy in America, man. You're not going to get it perfect, but you could get the best of the worst.
That's all we got.
That's all we got, because like I said, if you're in your 20s, you might have that high metabolism, and you might not see the effects of the food you eat. When you get a little older, man, your body's gonna tell you if you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing with your body, man. You know? But I mean, look, that's pretty much the point, man. Just, you know, gluttony is a Babylonian custom, man.
But you might get Jeremiah 6:16 for this morning.
Jeremiah 6:16. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Shai, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old house. Where is the good way and walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. But they said we would not walk therein.
Right, the good way, the old path, man. As a matter of fact, it's a website. I think it's called the Old Path, and that's where you look up certain recipes from different cultures. And I look up the way that they ate in West Africa before they were colonized, and it was basically you had soups and stews out of vegetables, the greens, the nuts, the seeds. You might have had fish to it sometimes. That was the old way. Even in our homeland Jerusalem, it's this Wikipedia article called Israelite Cuisine, and it basically broke down that at the end of the day, you might have everybody had like a soup, right? And everybody dipped their bread in it, man. But guess who else does that? Jake in West Africa, man. So, but the vegetables was the main meal. A lot of times the meat was complimentary, man. All right. Like I said, we had fish that was part of our culture. Also, we had the Mediterranean diet. You filter the Mediterranean diet with the laws of the Most High, the dietary laws, there you go. Another thing that the Spirit keep bringing up, it was on my spirit, you talked about it, and the brother just talked about it. Having a cutoff time when you eat. You know, 4 o'clock in the evening, 5 o'clock, man. That does wonders for your digestive system, man.
You feel it too.
Yeah, you feel it. You wake up with that clear head, man. You know, it is when you live out the new creature, not the old creature. You still have pleasure, but guess what? The pleasure is like vitality. Right. To feel good all day, that's the pleasure.
Yes, sir.
To have a clear head, mental clarity, you know, that's the pleasure, man. To not be tired all the time, that's the pleasure. To regulate when you drink, you know, that's the pleasure. To not give your mind over to pleasing your lower nature, man, and experience the benefits of temperance, moderation, you know.
It's 2nd Ezra 8, starting verse 28. It says, think not upon those that have walked vainly before thee, but remember them which according to thy will have known thy fear. That's referring to the elect of the nation of Israel. And it says, let it not be thy will to destroy them which have lived like beasts, but to look upon them that have clearly taught thy law.
Yep.
Take thou no indignation at them which are deemed worse than beasts, but love them that always put their trust in our righteousness and glory. And here's the point, verse 31. For we and our fathers do languish of such diseases, but because of us sinners, thou should be called merciful.
And part of living like beasts is like this woman from the nation of Israel, not nation of Israel, nation of Islam. She was going into 1 meal a day, right? And she was like the American, they graze on food like how cows graze on grass. And she was like, you're grazing all day. And she was, and that's, that was heavy. But and then she was in her 40s, but she looked like she could have been like a flat 30. And she had like probably like, you know, several kids. She mentioned like how many kids she had. But she was like, she hardly ever gets sick, you know. And so she eat 1 meal a day. She was in her 40s, didn't look nowhere near 40. You know what I mean? And then here I am in Mississippi, right? And I'm in Judaville. And Eve is fat by the time she's 18.
That's right.
And she fat, fucking, drinking, smoking.
Yeah.
In our generation, the women were at least slim at 18.
Yeah.
Your generation, they were slim at 18.
Yeah.
They picked up weight later on in life.
Right.
These women fat as fuck at 18.
Right.
Or they fat, thick, you know, chunky.
Yeah.
And they got that low pH level. You can feel it on them. They love drinking, having sex, smoking, vaping. All right?
Yeah, I had came across a video on TikTok. It was some time ago. but it was an Edomite. I think she was out there in Europe, and her point was like out here in America, the content of everything is so big, like coffee. She said, over here we have a small amount of coffee, and basically we sit down and drink our coffee. But she said over there in America, they get these large cups of coffee with all this sugar and creamer and things of that nature.
That's what country was that? What you talking about?
Man, she was somewhere in Europe, bro.
Because also about Europe too, they have authentic ingredients.
Yeah.
Like I forgot which country I was looking at on YouTube, but their bread only lasts on the shelf like 2 days and it rots. The guy that runs the Mediterranean spot that we like to go to, he said in Lebanon, if bread lasts more than 3 days, it's no good. See, we eat food that's it's like embalming fluid.
Yeah,
like you said, it's processed, so it never rots. Yeah. Your body is not supposed to consume anything that rots. Right. So if it never rots, what is it doing in your digestive system?
That's where you get cancer from. Yeah. And you're supposed to use the bathroom, real talk, like every day. Yeah. Even cows and things of that nature, they shit all day because they're eating all day. You got people that, you know what I'm saying? You got people that eat all that food and don't never go to the bathroom.
Like every 3 or 4 days.
Every 3 or 4 days.
Foods, stuff with high cholesterol, things of that sort. And you notice at the end of that movie, they led her to the hospital due to her poor diet. But the arteries were clogged up, which led to her legs getting amputated. It was some part of her body that got amputated. Throughout that movie shows you that her character died. But on that parody of the movie, that's what they say. The same food that put Big Mom in the hospital into her grave, they went back home to the family and celebrated the same type of food that she was making.
In honor of her, yeah.
And soul food is nothing but comfort food, man.
And it's death. Yep. It's cancer.
Yeah. And coming right here says it's called soul food because if you eat enough of it, you become a spirit.
Yeah, God, that's a good one, man. Hey, Captain the Body, like you guys. Hey, wait, hey, you know what? I was trying to read and drive, bro. I read.
Okay.
Yeah. What you want me to get, bro?
Hey, Ecclesiasticus. Well, no, it was actually for you, one. Hey, 30 and 15, bro. Ecclesiasticus 30 and 15 was one.
I still hard got
Okay, that's good.
Ecclesiasticus 30 and 15. And it said, we'll start first. Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body.
And we're the poor, it is better for, hey, we in Babylon, man. Fuck the riches that Babylon can give you. So while we're in Babylon, until we get delivered, I be willing, just be fit and have vitality, man, and we've been in the spirit. And it reminds me of those Jakes that be in the East Coast, man, 60 doing pull-ups and shit, man. They don't look rich. They might be truck drivers or whatever, but they take care of their bodies, man.
What they know, fasting or intermediate fasting.
Yeah.
Like you know, to rest. I just think how much more you need sleep, how much more your body needs sleep for fasting.
Yeah.
When they say fasting on the body, it's food for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to fast, So it says, verse 15, health and good estate of the body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth.
A strong body is above infinite wealth. Infinite means like endless.
That's right.
So a strong body is beyond infinite wealth.
Right.
Hey, look, cause look, man, you got. Oh, go ahead, bro.
Unless no, I was just ad-libbing.
You got billionaires and billionaires. They bad built. They look horrible, sickly. They get all these type of like procedures done. You know, the most attractive body is a fit body. It's not an overly. Not speaking as a man. It's not an overly thick woman. The spirit been on me to look at petite women lately, like good skin, clean teeth, good aura, feminine. You know what I mean? Natural hair, or you know, it could be a little thicker or curvier too. That's cool too. But even like as far as like body goes, right? As men, but I'd rather just be lean and chiseled. I'm not a naturally lean person, but I'd rather just be like low fat, man. You know.
Verse 16. There's no Riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness.
Hey, cause look, man, who wants to be in pain, man?
Oh, damn, dude.
If you're in pain in your body, you are in prison.
Yeah.
If you are in chronic pain, you are in prison, man. Nobody wants that shit. Nobody wants that shit, man. All right, but look, hey, y'all got anything else?
That's pretty much it.
Hey, the water for tapping in, brothers and sisters. We hope you were edified. Once again, we want to give our honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Ashur HaKadosh. Double honors to our elder apostles, elder bishops of Great Millstone Ruel. Peace and blessings, health and wellness to the house of David the elect. Abba Baal, Come Yashala, Shalom.
Shalom. That was a good one.